Hello friends, happy Monday to you when you're listening to this. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm a little bit distracted because my cat is trying to get on top, trying to jump on my lap. So I'm trying to get him up here, but I don't think he will. Come here. You guys can't see this. For those of you that are watching, you can probably see it. But it is another episode, and today I want to talk to you about good enough for supplements, basically, because you're still stuck on the whole supplement thing, right? You're still thinking about what's the best thing I can be taking, what's going to help me optimize, what's going to get me faster results, what's going to get me XYZ, what's the best fat burner, what's this, what's that. And it's like, okay, well, you know, before you try and fucking start wasting your money, especially in this day and age when people complain about the cost of things, the cost of living, everything's going up, and you're thinking, what supplement should I buy? How about before you start throwing money at supplements, we actually think about the big picture first, and then we can talk about what supplements are actually worth buying and which ones aren't worth buying. All right? So for majority of you listening to this, you want to lose weight, I assume, or be healthier, which probably does involve a little bit of weight loss, give or take for the most part. In order to do that, what do you have to do in order to lose weight? What do you got to do? Think about it. What do I always talk about? I hope your answer is calorie deficit, right? Because that is the correct answer. You have to be in a calorie deficit. So, if you start to increase your activity or you start to decrease your calorie intake, what is that going to do? More likely to decrease your calorie intake. It's going to create a calorie deficit, okay? So if you're already losing weight, then why the fuck do you think you need to buy supplements? Now, the answer is probably like, oh yeah, but I want to speed up the weight loss. So here's the thing when it comes to that. You're probably like, oh, I want to buy a fat burner. I want to buy pre-workout. I want to buy this. I want to buy that. All right? You want to increase the amount of weight you lose in a week. You can go and spend 60, 80 bucks, whatever it's going to be, in order to get a fat burning supplement. All right? But here's something you've got to consider. If that supplement was effective enough to speed up your metabolism, to make any noticeable difference, then you wouldn't really have to be in a calorie deficit. You could actually eat at maintenance and just be and take that supplement, and it would put you in a calorie deficit. Because to start seeing any results, you're going to probably have to be in about a 300 calorie deficit per day, right? If you're in a 100 calorie deficit, it can just be eaten up by basically just eating slightly lower calories. If you eat 100 calories less a day, the body is not going to be like, oh, we're going to lose a little bit of weight this week. It's not going to happen because 100 calories is such a minor significance that it can just be, you can underestimate something or overestimate something, and that's within a 100 calorie range, give or take. So this is why we want to start going from like a 300 calorie deficit onwards to actually get any noticeable results when it comes to a calorie deficit, okay? So if you had to get 300 calories at least to notice any type of deficit, well then, if you were to take a fat burning supplement, you would fucking hope it's able to do at least a 300 calorie increase in energy expenditure in order to get a result. Which means you could be at maintenance and just eat normally, take a fucking supplement, it creates a 300 calorie deficit, you lose weight. But yet that doesn't happen, does it? No, all right? So you're in a deficit, you're like, I want to speed up my weight loss. Well, guess what you can do before you start spending a ridiculous amount of money on supplements? You can increase your calorie expenditure by then adding cardio exercise in. Or you can decrease your calorie input, which means you go into a further deficit. Like, that's your two options. You increase expenditure or you decrease your calorie intake, all right? Like, that's how you speed up fat loss if you want to. Now, here's the thing. You want to speed it up, but to do that, to eat less or to move more, actually requires effort, and it actually makes it more challenging. So you're like, oh, well, I'll just take a supplement. Again, a supplement is not going to increase your calorie expenditure by that marginal amount. And the reason for this is because, again, we want to see a 200 to 300 calorie increase in your metabolism, let's say, if you're going to take a fat burning supplement. If you consider your BMR, if anyone does your BMR, which I just talk about, it's 24 times your body weight as a male, it's 22 times your body weight as a female, all right? So for me, let's just round me off to 100 kilos. That means roughly I'm burning 2,400 calories just by sitting on my ass doing nothing. If I could take a fat burning supplement that increased my calorie expenditure sitting around doing nothing by more than 10%. That is a lot, right? So if I'm burning 2,400 calories and I take this supplement that helps me burn an extra 240 calories, that's a massive increase to your metabolism. Like, to increase your metabolism by sitting around doing nothing by 10% is a big jump. Like, I'm not sure if you understand this, but like, that's by doing nothing, by just taking a supplement, increasing your calories by 240 in this case, or again, even 300, that's massive. That's not happening. Supplements aren't doing that. Because then weight loss would be a lot easier, and it's not. It takes time. So when you want to speed up your fat loss, you don't try and look for a fucking supplement, because a supplement cannot do that, okay? Illegal supplements can. Calorie-controlled supplements can. And again, these aren't supplements. These are actually drugs, okay? So when you take Urine, it's basically speed. It not only increases your metabolism, your energy expenditure, it also decreases your appetite. Clenbuterol, the same thing. It will increase your energy expenditure by increasing your heart rate, right? You're going to be constantly having a higher heart rate and higher body heat, which increases something called thermogenesis, basically increasing your body heat, increasing your temperature in your body, which means increasing calorie burn. And the same thing is DMP, okay? These are legal things that you can't get, or again, people can get Duromine from a fucking doctor, but it's a controlled substance, all right? Because these things actually have a noticeable effect. And you know what's funny? You want to take these things that will help you, get a greater result, and you can go down the illegal route of taking clenbuterol and stuff like that. They're expensive, number one. Number two, the risks associated with actually getting results from these are not worth it, right? Like, you look at clenbuterol side effects, you're going to be like, do I want to do this, right? Like, for a little bit of extra weight loss that can just be done by a calorie deficit, the side effects are not worth it. Someone asked me on the podcast, someone asked me in the Instagram comments, question section, because I was talking about supplements, and they're like, okay, I see what you mean about, like, clenbuterol, these things being illegal, but how do we get our hands on them? And I'm like, I'm not going to fucking tell you how. Firstly, I don't know how to get clenbuterol, right? Secondly, the risk associated with taking a fucking drug for weight loss is so high that I would definitely say it's not worth the fucking health risk. Like, you're like, oh yeah, I want to lose weight so I can be healthier, but I'm going to do something that goes against me being healthier by taking this drug that is definitely going to fucking negatively impact me. Like, constant anxiety, sweating all the time. It just feels like you're running on a treadmill continuously, if you want to know what it feels like. And you're constantly anxious, right? You have no energy for anything else because you're just constantly having a high heart rate, okay? Heart arrhythmia, anxiety, possible stroke, possible heart attack, possible tachycardia, all these things just because you are impatient and you want to fucking lose fat faster, all right? So these fat-burning supplements that you can get legally aren't going to do anything noticeable for you, okay? When you look at the main ingredient of fat-burning supplements, first of all, the main ingredient is caffeine, okay? You can buy caffeine a lot cheaper than you can through a fucking fat-burning supplement, right? Any of the other things that are added in there are not going to be any extra benefit to you. Because another reason is, like, if these things actually worked, you wouldn't be seeing them sold in a supplement store, right? You'd actually be seeing them being controlled by a pharmacy, most likely. Big pharma, you should say. Because if they can be like, hey, here's a pill, here's a fucking supplement you can take that'll actually get you results, pharma's going to make a lot more money than a fucking supplement guy down the street, all right? The exact same reason testosterone is illegal, okay? Well, in most countries, in UK it's legal, in other places it's legal. You can't just go and buy testosterone to put into your body, right? But yet you can go and buy test boosters. Why would testosterone be illegal if you can buy a test booster? Because test boosters don't fucking work either, right? It's just like, unfortunately, the stuff that actually works is illegal, or like, it is controlled, because people can just do dumb things and fucking die from it, right? Like, I can guarantee you a majority of people who are like, oh, I want to use clenbuterol, you fucking have no idea of the side effects, right? You just want something fast. Where it's like, saying things like, you want to spend these monies on these supplements, yet you're not willing to do the things that are actually necessary to get results, which is be more active, eating like an adult, and eating less food overall if you want to lose body weight. Like, that's the goal, right? They say eat less, move more. It's basically like that for the most part. Like, yes, it's not that simple, but it also is that simple. Like, if you exercise more, or you just increase your calorie expenditure by moving more, like I say, doing steps. If you can do more steps, that's a great way to increase your calorie expenditure. If you're training and then you have extra time for cardio, that's an extra way to increase your calorie expenditure. That's going to increase your calorie expenditure, okay? Eating less calorie-dense foods doesn't mean eating less volume, because you can choose nutrient-dense foods for low volume, lean protein, veggies, fruit, all those things, but you eat less calorie-dense foods, you will lose weight, all right? Again, it's not that simple, but it is also that simple. Oh, sorry, I should say it's simple but not easy, because a lot of things that come into that context where it's like eat more, move less, we want to make sure, did I say that? Eat less, move more, I should say. We want to make sure that the food you're eating is still nutrient dense, which means you technically can eat more volume, it's just less calorie dense foods. That's the thing you've got to do regardless. If you want to speed up your results, you fucking do more of A or B, basically. You either move more or you eat a little less again. That's all you've got to do. Unfortunately, that's the answer, right? So when it comes to fat burning supplements, all that shit, you don't fucking need to buy any of that stuff. It's not going to do anything extra. And also, in thinking about this, a supplement is there to supplement your diet. If you are not in a calorie deficit and you buy a fat burner, it's not going to put you in a calorie deficit. All right. If you, like I just told you, you have to be in a fucking calorie deficit. And if it was noticeable enough, or it was able to impact your metabolism enough to put you in a calorie deficit, if you're at maintenance, then everyone would just be put on a fucking fat burner. There's a reason dietitians don't give their even obese clients a fat burner. Like, that's what you'd have to do. Hey mate, here, take this fat burner. Oh, you want to get results? Here, take a fat burner. It's not a thing, right? We don't prescribe. I'm not a dietitian. They don't prescribe fucking fat burners. Guess what? Because they do not work, right? There's a reason a doctor, if a doctor's going to give you Duramine, if you can get your hands on it, a doctor's not going to be like, look, before you take Duramine, you should actually go down to the supplement shop and you should buy Fat Burner 3000, all right? And then if that doesn't work, then we'll give you Duramine. They're not saying, doctors aren't doing that. They're giving you Duramine because it actually works, right? Now again, please, to fucking God, do not go and abuse Duramine. Do not go and get clean, because these are not your answers, all right? These are Band-Aid solutions to what you actually need to do. And you know what you actually need to do? You need to fucking learn to eat like an adult, which means you eat fruits, veggies, whole grains, you're eating a slightly calorie deficit, and you improve your overall health, okay? Because you're like, what are you gonna do? Oh yeah, I took clenbuterol, sweet, I lost all the weight. Then what? You're gonna put it back on, right? Because it doesn't fix anything. It's like people who go on extreme diets. All right, sweet. How are you going to maintain that? Did you learn how to eat well? Well, I learned how to eat 800 calories a day. Okay, now what? There's a reason it comes back on, right? These Band-Aid solutions do not fix the problem at hand. This is why we always come back down to the main important things of nutrition and movement. Simple, okay? So please, fucking Jesus, do not buy fat burners, all right? Do not buy clenbuterol. Do not go to the doctor and try and abuse Duramine. They're out of the picture. Focus on what really works, which is, unfortunately, putting effort into your nutrition and your training and your exercise, right? Let's cover that. Done. Done with fucking fat burners, done with test boosters, same bullshit. Don't waste your money on that stuff. So what should you actually spend your money on if you do want to buy supplements, all right? In this episode, I'm just going to talk about supplements that I would recommend that are spending your money, that are worth spending your money on, that I would recommend, all right? Now, again, the first few supplements, or any of these supplements really, aren't going to be, you have to get your nutrition sorted first, because these will actually just kind of benefit you regardless of your nutrition. If more than anything, they're going to support your good habits. That's all we're going to focus on today, all right? The good enough supplements. So firstly is protein powder. Protein powder, whether it be casein, whether it be whey protein isolate, whether it be whey protein concentrate, that's going to be your first thing that I'd recommend. Why do I recommend protein powder? Because not everyone can get their protein through just normal food, all right? It's a simple way for you to increase your protein intake without having to think about it. Protein powder, okay? What's the difference between casein and concentrate and isolate? Well, concentrate and isolate is just a little bit more, let's say, pure whey protein, but concentrate does the exact same job. Some people need to have an isolate because they like a little bit of lactose, they may be upset from that stomach from concentrate, go to isolate. But if you have the choice of product, get concentrate because it's cheaper. It'll do the exact same job whey protein isolate does. And if your stomach can handle it, fantastic. You've now got a cheaper product of isolate. You've now got a cheaper product of whey protein. What's the difference between casein and isolate and concentrate? Basically, casein is a slower digesting protein. That's all it is. It just means it sits in your stomach longer. So if you're going to go longer times without food, you want to have casein. Do you need casein protein powder? No. Will it keep you fuller for longer? Yes. By a huge amount? Not really. It just sits in your stomach longer. When would I recommend having casein, you can have it before bed, all right? However, or you're going to have it in the morning because you know you're going to be busy in meetings all day. You might not eat for like 6 or 7 hours. Casein is probably a better option. In saying that though, with casein, if you're eating protein during nighttime, which I'm assuming you are, and you're having a mixed meal of protein, carbs, and fats, so you're having like a steak with veggies at dinner time, which means you got fiber, you've got protein, it's going to be slowly digested in the body. So you don't essentially need a casein, okay? It's just there if you want to have it. You know, if you want to make your little fucking protein mousses and stuff that people make, you can. Or you know what you can choose instead? Yogurt. Or you know what you can choose instead? Cottage cheese. Or you know what? You can just have a protein meal with healthy fats, fiber, and you're going to be sweet regardless. So, whey protein concentrate first. If you want to have a slower digesting one, get casein. It's not essential. Secondly, creatine monohydrate, okay? Do not buy any other source of creatine. Creatine monohydrate is 100% absorbable, right? What does that mean? You can't beat 100%. If I take 5 grams, 5 grams being absorbed, all right? How do I increase that? You can't. I put 5 grams in my mouth, 5 grams gets absorbed in my body. That's it, all right? I don't somehow make 5 grams into 10 grams. That would be fucking amazing, but we can't do that, right? So people are going to be like, oh, what about this creatine? What about this creatine? You cannot beat 100% absorption rate. So just get creatine monohydrate. What brand do you get? Any brand. Because creatine monohydrate from brand A is going to be the exact same creatine monohydrate as brand B. Just so you guys know where I get all my supplements from, I get them from Bulk Nutrients. I'm not sponsored by them. It's because they're fucking cheap. Bulk Nutrients for everything. It's cheap. You buy it in a large amount, you're sweet. I like it for that reason. They have good flavors with protein powder. The creatine's cheap. I buy like 2.5 kilos of creatine, which lasts me like forever. And that's it. So creatine monohydrate, any brand. They're all going to be the same shit. Look for the cheapest one. When do you take creatine? Any time of the day. How much creatine do you take? 5 grams a day. Do you need to come off creatine? You absolutely do not need to come off creatine because it's not just for muscle gain. It's actually good for your brain health too. All right? You don't need to cycle. You don't need to do the loading shit. You don't need to do any of that stuff. Just take it 5 grams a day every day of your life for the rest of your life. Whether you lift or not, creatine is going to be beneficial for you. Just learn to take it every day. If you get one day, you don't need to load it up. Just have it the next day. That's all, okay? Creatine is going to benefit everyone. If you're a vegan, take creatine. If you're vegetarian, take creatine. If you just do endurance sports, take creatine. If you don't lift, take creatine. It's a simple, effective supplement. What does it actually do? It will increase your water in your muscles, firstly, which means your muscles are going to look bigger. It doesn't make you look fluffy. Anyone who says that it makes you look fluffy is a fucking idiot, all right? Water in the muscle does not make you look fluffy and puffy or any of that shit because it's inside the muscle. If anything, it makes you look more toned, defined type of thing. That's all you need it for, right? You're not going to notice that you're on creatine. You're not going to be like, oh man, once I started taking creatine, fucking gains started happening. It doesn't happen like that. All creatine does, it's like you have a 100 liter gas tank. Now you might have a 110 liter gas tank, which means you might be able to do an extra rep here and there. You might be able to push an extra kilo out on something, you know? You might be able to slowly make, it's like the long-term thing. So it's like over a year, you could have made, like let's say you get to the end of the year and you squat 120 kilos. Like that's your PB, right? You started at 80 kilos, you've built up to 120 kilos. Taking creatine. Maybe without creatine, you might have gotten up to like 117 kilos. It's a very minuscule, noticeable thing, but it still adds up over time. And it's not just for the muscle benefits, you know, it's also just good for your overall health. It's not a fucking miracle drug, but it does work. And this is the funny thing. Supplements that work aren't going to give you amazing results. No one's going to start taking creatine and be like, once I started taking creatine, that was a game changer. Once I started taking whey protein powder instead of eating my chicken, that was a game changer. It's none of this shit, all right? It's just like, this is why we say supplements are the last 5%. Because you can achieve 95% of the results without supplements. Like 5%. Think about how small that is. Think about how tiny 5% is. Like, what do you focus on? Do you focus on supplements or do you focus on your fucking nutrition? Well, guess what? Nutrition's going to get you 85 to 90%, all right? Like 85 to 90%. Think about how much of a difference that is. Again, let's go back to the squat analogy, right? You want to get to squatting 100 kilos by the end of the year. You eat like shit, you don't sleep well, nothing, but you take creatine. You add like 5 kilos onto the bar. That's what it would be. 5 kilos onto the bar just from creatine. Fucking sweet. You've gone from 20 kilos to 25 kilos. You focus on eating well. You focus on eating enough protein. You focus on sleeping well. You focus on everything else. The shit that's going to get you 90%. Now you're squatting 90 kilos on the bar. Like, what the fuck would you rather? Would you rather squat 5 kilos on the bar or 95 kilos on the bar? Do the shit that's going to get you there with the 90 to 95% of the results. Fuck. It's nutrition first. Supplements are there to support and supplement your diet. All right? So creatine, any time of the day, 5 grams a day, every single day. It's going to benefit everyone. That's all you need to know. It's not a miracle drug. All right? Are you going to get bald from it? No. From the research that's shown, you're not going to get bald from it. Don't stress about it. Anything else about creatine? No. All right? Next up is vitamin D. Most people are deficient in vitamin D. All right? The darker your skin color, the higher the chance you have of deficiency. Okay? The pigmentations on your skin are going to matter. The people who are quite, I want to say pale, but I guess pale, they're going to be able to absorb vitamin D I guess I'd say faster from the sun. They need less time in the sun in order to absorb vitamin D. The darker your skin color, the more time you're going to need to spend in the sun to absorb vitamin D, right? So with that being said, because especially in winter, everyone's going to be covered up and stuff like that, depending on where you are in the world, or we're spending most of our day inside, or if we're walking outside, most of our skin is covered, you're probably going to be good to supplement a vitamin D supplement. All right. And this also goes along with the next one is a calcium supplement. Not everyone's getting enough calcium in during the day. If you're eating dairy or almond milk and stuff like that, you want to get about 1,000 milligrams of calcium a day. So I'd actually suggest to see if you have, if you are getting 1,000 milligrams or not. If you are not, take a vitamin D and calcium supplement together. I think the brand's called Osteline, Osteillelen, if I can remember correctly. They're a good one to have in combination together. You can take vitamin D and calcium together, which are a really good one, or vitamin D and K2, which is a good one too. So recommend that. I'm not sponsored by them. They're just the ones that I recommend because they're all about the bone health side of things. So vitamin D3 and K2 supplement, or if you're not getting enough calcium, right? 1,000 milligrams a day, ideally you want to be hitting of calcium. Vitamin D, it'll be 1,000 IU, which is fine. A good thing you can go and do is go get a blood test done to see if you do have any vitamin D deficiencies, okay? Just make sure you're in a good range. If you are deficient, you may need to take more than 1,000 IU a day. I'm not going to recommend that because, again, you want to go and check with what your blood test is at. I take 3,000 IU a day every single day. It keeps me in a good range, and I know that's my limit. Well, not my limit, but I know that's a range for me. Everyone's going to be different, so please do not just take fucking what I take. Go and get it checked. All right? But vitamin D is most likely going to be deficient in most people, and that actually can account for low energy too. So go and get your vitamin D checked. Right? And then fish oil. So fish oil and omega-3 supplement. If you are a vegetarian or vegan, you can take a krill oil, or algae oil, sorry, I should say, not a krill oil. Algae oil to get those omega-3s. People talk about getting omega-3s from, what do they say they get omega-3s from? Is it flaxseed? I think it's flaxseed they talk about, or whatever that is. Unfortunately, a lot of people cannot convert what is necessary into the actual omega-3s. So that's why I'd say algae oil or fish oil, unless you eat fatty fish a few times a week. So you can look on the tin on your, let's say you're getting tinned fish. It'll tell you if you get any omegas there. Otherwise, I would just recommend getting getting a fish oil supplement and taking 1,000 milligrams combined of EPA and DHA. So if you look on the back of the label, it'll say on there how much EPA, how much DHA is in there. You want to make sure when you add those things up together, it comes up to 1,000 milligrams. So even though it says on the capsule, 1,000 milligram capsule, it may not add up to the EPA and DHA amount. So make sure you look at that amount. So I might say like 400 milligrams of DHA and like 200 milligrams of EPA. So technically you need to take 2 of those capsules, right? So just keep an eye out there for those side of things. So you know you're taking 1,000 milligrams of combined EPA and DHA if you're not eating enough fatty fish. I have fatty fish once a week, so I only supplement for like 4 days of the week, right? Because my salmon's got a lot of fat in there. But again, salmon is expensive, so you want to keep an eye on that too. And that's basically look, if we look at that as a whole, that's your good enough supplements, to be honest. I don't want you thinking about other stuff. You got protein, you got creatine, you got vitamin D, a calcium one if you need it, if you aren't getting enough dairy in, and then a fish oil. They're going to cover your health bases. Multivitamins, should you take them? if you want to take them and you have the extra money, that's fine. You can take one. I personally don't take a multivitamin because I eat plenty of fruits and vegetables and I know I have my bases covered, right? If you do not eat enough fruits and vegetables, please do take one. I don't recommend it as it being a replacement to your diet because there it's again to supplement your diet. But if you struggle, if you hate fruits and veggies, then look, you can look at taking one. There's heaps of ones out there. I would just go like, fuck, I'm not going to recommend one because I don't know. The most important thing you want to look at there is if you're taking a multivitamin, your urine color may change because the high B vitamins that are in there. It'll probably look like fluoro piss at the end of the day when you do go to the bathroom. No, that just is you are excessively having an amount of vitamin B in there that you're urinating out because your body doesn't need anymore. That's kind of a good way to know if you are having too much of anything, like not of anything, but I guess the vitamin B supplements, is you're going to urinate them out. Okay, because water-soluble vitamins just mean they're absorbed in water and they're going to be urinated out if you don't need them. So excessive amounts of like vitamin B, vitamin C, they're going to be like your biggest ones that you're going to basically piss out for the most part. Vitamin C is quite easy to attain, same as some vitamin B supplements because there are a fair few in there. But again, ideally, you're eating your fruits and veggies, which is going to be ticking off those boxes. So a multivitamin, you can look into it. It's not essential. Another one, an iron supplement. So for those of you that do need an iron supplement, please go and just get your blood checked first for an iron supplement, for an iron test. So check your iron and check your B12, okay? These are going to be two crucial things you want to look at because these are things you can supplement with. If you don't eat enough red meat, you're going to need a supplement. And that's fine. There's nothing wrong with needing a supplement iron if you need to, but just go and get it checked first. Please do not just go and start supplementing iron. That's not a good thing. You want to get checked because some of you may have too much iron and you definitely don't want to be supplementing iron. Some of you will definitely be anemic and you want to be supplementing iron and B12, okay? If you are going to go and get a supplement, Ferrograd is one that I recommend to everyone. You take it with a meal because it will be absorbed better with vitamin C. So have it with some juice or have it with a meal that's going to have some fruits or veggies in there to make it better available to be able to be absorbed from you. All right. Now, again, we're talking about like health supplements that are just going to be spending the money on. And that's all I want you to think about. Okay. You notice how I didn't touch on any other special supplements that are in there? That are just in general, because you don't need to be fucking having the rest of the stuff, okay? Everything you get told about is like people are like, oh, what about sleep supplements? Well, guess what? Until you're nailing your sleep hygiene, you don't fucking need a sleep supplement, okay? There is no point trying to put band-aids on things that need to be fixed with lifestyle interventions, right? So like when people say sleep supplement, okay, what's your bedtime routine like? Do you have a bedtime routine? Is your bed cool? Is your room cool? Is your room dark? Is your room quiet? Is your bed comfy? All these things are going to be more important than fucking going to get a supplement. Are you winding down before bed? Is your bed only used for sleep, sex, and relaxing? Are you watching TV in bed? That's a bad thing. Are you on social media before bed? That's a bad thing. Are you fucking just, like wide awake and then all of a sudden you're jumping into bed and you can't sleep? Well, obviously. It's like look at your lifestyle interventions first and work on changing them. Because a supplement is there to support, not to replace bad behaviors, all right? Are you going to bed at the same time? Are you waking up at the same time? Like all these things are going to be crucial for your sleep. So it goes back to fat burning. No fat burning supplements. Again, like, you want a fat burn, you eat less and you do fucking more exercise, ideally. That's what we need to be thinking about as a holistic, as a mindset side of things. It's like, get the fucking lifestyle factors in order first. And this still comes back to like good enough. The good enough thing for sleep is like, again, a dark room, a comfortable bed, going to bed regularly at the same time, making sure you're unwinding before bed, aiming for 7.5 hours of sleep at least a night. Like, don't overcomplicate this shit, okay? Don't make yourself feel like you have to do X, Y, Z, all these special little things. Like, you get the basic, big, good enough rocks done first. Supplements. Like, what about all these different supplements? Get your diet in order first, Get a variety of fruits and vegetables and shit like that in. Get some protein in. Do that stuff first. Then you can look at like, what about all these little extra supplements I can get? If you want to spend your money on it, fucking fine. But most people complain about the money or the cost of things and then they'll go fucking spend money on supplements that aren't going to support them because you don't want to take the responsibility of actually just being a fucking adult and eating and exercising well and keeping consistent, right? Because again, these things will get you 95% of the way, 90 to 95% of the way. Why fucking waste your money on this extra 5% when you can't even nail the things that will actually get you results? Okay? And this is exactly what I teach in my coaching. So for those of you who are interested in coaching and you actually want that help, just click the link in the bio or in the bio, in the description here, and you can learn about my coaching, where I literally teach all these things. I don't give my clients 20 different supplements, right? It's exactly what I told you guys today. A protein supplement, a creatine supplement, a vitamin D supplement, a fish oil supplement if they're not eating fatty fish, mixing that vitamin D supplement with calcium if they don't get enough calcium, and then that's it. I don't even try and give my clients multis because I try and get them to eat a wide variety of foods to get all those nutrients in, and that's not a lot. It comes back to those daily behaviors of 1 to 3 servings of fruit, 3 to 5 servings of veggies, protein at every meal, dark meat, red meat, 2 to 3 times a week. Whole grains, they're going to get all those things in. Getting some dairy in too. They're going to get all those things in. That's what we need to focus on, okay? Don't get stuck up in the supplement side of things. Don't get stuck up in that 5% until you're nailing the basic stuff, all right? And for the love of God, please don't fucking look for illegal substances to use just because you can't do the basic shit, all right? Supplements are there to support you, they're not there to replace. Cool? That's it, guys. Very simple episode today. I hope I covered everything you needed to know. If any other supplement questions do come up, you can send me a message, which again, a link is in the description. You click my Instagram bio, Instagram link, send me a message, ask me any questions you want. If this was helpful, if it was straight to the point, if you enjoyed it, please make sure to share it and tag me, because I always love when you guys do share it and you tag me that you're getting value from it. And until next time, I will speak to you guys then.